We are live with Lunch Break Live. I have the Botanical Chef, Nina Curtis. What are you making today?
Paige, I'm going to be making my award-winning Adventist Health Vitaliz Cafe Haystack. You are going to be hungry, so I hope you brought your plate, fork, and probably spoon.
Look at that gorgeous platter. All right, well, take it away.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. We are going to jump into this haystack. It's really fun. Most of you are saying, what's a haystack? Well, I'm going to show you. We've got black beans that are so wonderful, full of fiber and protein. We even have black rice, another dietary fiber, protein-rich food. And then we're going to mix up the walnut lentil meat because I've won over omnivores, pescatarians, vegetarians, and vegans with this dish. So let me show you how it's done. You can just make your rice ahead of time. I love this dish because in the cafe, we're pushing out 300 or so lunches a day. We don't have time to wait till the last minute to get everything done. So mise en place is very important. I'm just gonna slide this up. The meat is comprised of cooked lentils, but you don't want them too soft. You still want to have a good bite. And I'm using green French lentils. Everything is organic and other items may be non-GMO. Then I take and I toast walnuts. Walnuts are great for the brain, rich in omega-3, fiber, dietary fiber, but I just toast them because that brings up the umami. And that's so important when we're working with a plant-based diet. Nuts and seeds have umami, our miso has umami, but that's what most people miss when they start transitioning from animal source protein, which has no fiber, but we're going to give them all the satiating taste and flavor that you need. So toast those even in the oven or easy on the stovetop because it's so hot right now. I'm just gonna mix that. I pulsed it in my food processor. I don't wanna grind it down too much because that will create a pate. That's a recipe for another day. I want you to feel when you bite into this, the mouthfeel that you're used to when you're chewing on, say, ground beef, okay? So let's just mix that up. Now the trick with everything is flavor, right? So I have some smoked paprika that we're gonna add. Then I'm going to put some of my oregano, all the same flavors that you're used to adding in your taco meat. Nothing's different. You're just going to have this bounty of a mouthful. This is some onion powder, a little cumin, not a lot, just a little. I've got some garlic powder. And I'm going to use, and I'm going to measure this out because I can get a little carried away. A little chipotle, because I like spice. It's great for blood circulation in the body. A little bit of our sea salt, 72 different minerals for the body. And of course, fresh ground black pepper. If you don't work with expeller pressed oils, you could use a little vegetable broth, but I'm going to add to this some olive oil because it's really going to give you, again, that mouthfeel. Fats, good fats, are going to carry flavor across the tongue, and you want your brain to start getting the signals of, oh, wow, this is really delicious. This is scrumptious. This is satiating to my body. So we can't eliminate the things that the brain already knows. I'm just going to take my spatula and give that a good blend. And then we're going to just toss it in the skillet like we would with our ground beef. I'll stir that nicely. Now, the other items that we're going to add to this, you can stack this haystack any way you like, but typically we put the black beans on top of the black rice, and then I'm going to go into putting the ground beef on top. I love to include my romaine. This is a red romaine, so you're going to have more antioxidants and anthocyanins in your red, your blue, and your black ingredients. All of our legumes in the kitchen at the Vitaliz Cafe, we soak overnight because that helps to release the phytic acid. And that, once we release that and then we rinse them, it makes it more digestible for us to eat legumes. A lot of times, if you don't do that, you might feel more indigestion. But if you're not going to soak your beans, go to the store and get your canned organic black beans if possible. They're very affordable. Drain them off a little bit and then just make them piping hot. You want hot food hot and cold food cold when you serve it. The other thing I made from scratch is our fresh corn pico de gallo. So this has your corn, your jalapeno, your tomatoes, red onion. You could use white onion if you like. I've used lime juice and then a pinch of sea salt to taste. Always taste your food up. It's easier to add too little than to add too much because you can always add it up. And so we have that. I always like my pico de gallo to sit a while and marinate. We're going to add that on. We've got, of course, traditional black olives. And then we've got our cheese. Now, this is a vegan cheese. It is an coconut oil-based cheese. So if you have a nut intolerance, you can probably digest this very easily. And then there are many really good vegan cheese out there today that are nut-based. But I use this cheese in the cafe. It's a brand I have no affiliation with, BioLife. And this is their Jack and Cheddar cheese, which I love. I've actually put these in the black beans, the cheese, because I like a creamy bean. So I put some of the cheese and then I got that hot and let it melt. The other thing I've made that we make from scratch in our kitchen is our jalapeno and carrot pickled jalapenos. So I use this. We take jalapenos, slightly thin our carrots. Then we use a pickling seasoning, 4 cups of water to 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. And we let that just cook down so that the jalapenos get tender, but not mushy. Everything is being careful with the texture of your foods. So it's not feeling like someone's just eating a lot of soft food, which I've heard people say before. You don't want to overcook your foods. So with that, I want to show you how then your lentil meat looks after you've cooked it, or just really you're warming it because this has all been cooked. So it's really great. You can make up a batch of your lentils, put them in quart containers, and then freeze them because it makes it so easy if you have everything organized so you don't have to come home or think about sprouting overnight and then cooking these things. Lentils cook really quick. Your black beans are going to take a little longer if you're cooking them straight from after you've soaked them overnight. So let's get our lentil and walnut meat off the skillet.
If you're just joining us or you've been here for a minute, we are here with the amazing botanical chef, Nina Curtis. She is the director and executive chef for the Adventist Health Roseville campus, and the Vitaliz Cafe and Culinary Arts Department. She's at the helm of this dynamic culinary division, and we are going to hear more about her. She is a trailblazer in the plant-based culinary movement, blue zones, and more. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Take it away.
Paige, look at this. Can you see how it looks like ground beef?
Yes, it looks amazing. 100% plant-based. That looks incredible.
So we eat with our eyes first, right? And so often when people see this, they're like, well, that looks like ground beef. I'm like, well, not all the way. It looks like it. It may taste like it in flavor and texture, because what does meat taste like before we season it? It's pretty bland. What do we season it with? Plant-based spices and herbs. So we have to keep these things in mind, that when we're just eating on our daily, we don't think about all these things. But I like to bring this to people's attention because they always go, Chef, what am I going to have to give up when I go plant-based? And I go, you give up nothing. All the different foods you're going to be able to enjoy. You don't have enough time to eat all the edible plants and dishes that I could fix you. You give up nothing. You tell me what you like to eat, and I'm going to deconstruct it and make it plant-based and show you just how scrumptious it can be. That's my word today, Paige. I just love the word scrumptious. So let me get my plate so I can start plating this up because I'm quite hungry.
Amazing. And Haystack, I'm so excited. And how did you come up with making this recipe, and how did it become award-winning? So take it away.
Thank you. Yes. So the Haystack is a traditional Seventh-day Adventist dish. And the Seventh-day Adventists have been recognized as one of the blue zone areas in Loma Linda, California, where Dan Buettner, a reporter for National Geographic, in 2010 started a study to understand the commonality of areas around the world where people live to 100 years old. And so this dish, the Haystack, was a dish that, you know, they'd enjoy after church or at a potluck. And I entered in 2019 the Healthcare Without Harm Chef Contest, and I entered our Haystack. Typically, it is served instead of on the black rice on a bed of Fritos. But I needed to health it up because Healthcare Without Harm is an organization that's helping hospitals slant to the plants. And so in the blue zones, a part of the 9 powered disciplines and pillars that we have are plant slant. So they suggest eating 95 to 100% plant-based. These areas in the blue zones, Okinawa, Japan, Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica, Icaria, Greece, and Sardinia, Italy, and Loma Linda, they weren't necessarily vegan, all of them, but meat was more of a condiment. And in the recipe book, the Blue Zones Kitchen, 100 recipes to live to 100, you see all these wonderful dishes with the emphasis on plants. So I entered the contest. There were 25 other chefs that entered, and I had to just put it away. I told my team, don't ask me about how we're doing, if we won, let's just keep working. And the day I got the email, I just kind of had to sit and read it twice. But we won, you know, with 25 different hospitals attending. It's a great contest. They have it every year. I recommend any chef in the hospital or healthcare service enter in and just take your chances. It lifts your team up, and it's a fun way to do it. And then our team, we serve 1,400 associates at Adventist Health, have just loved it because many didn't know about it that weren't Seventh-day Adventists. And the first day we launched it, we had a line out the cafe and we sold 89 dishes in an hour. So that's pretty impressive for us. I'm just going to take some of my lentil meat. And even, you know, Paige, I was kind of concerned because I was like, well, these people make this all the time. Why are they going to want to come and pay for it in the cafe? But I did some of my culinary tricks, and the word got around like, no, chef is sprinkling some kind of plant-based fairy dust on what we already know to be true. So
amazing.
Exciting. Now,
yes,
can I stack this for you, Paige? I'm going to get Uber Eats to get it to you in Southern California.
I love it. What is that? What are those?
This is red romaine, and I've just chiffonade it, cut it in ribbons, which is a chiffonade cut, because I love no one minds when they're eating all their greens when they've got all this goodness. Then, do you like pico de gallo?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we're going to then stack that on top. It's such an easy summer dish. I mean, I serve this all year round on the menu, so people love it all the time, but especially in this heat, and I don't want to, I mean, I've already got heat, 110 degrees, usually in the kitchen. It's 106 degrees up where I'm at right now. So in my home kitchen, I try to keep it as cool as possible. And I keep these ingredients on hand and ready. So when I come home after working 10, 14, sometimes 16 hours, not lately, in the kitchen, I can just put things together. And that I find helps people stay on their plant-based journey, because all of us might fall off, you know, the track every so often. I've been vegan 20 years, but I just know that it is my profession. But sometimes when I come home, I don't want to cook as elaborate as I've cooked all day in the cafe. I'm going to put some more of the cheese on top for you, Paige, because I know you like that. And then are you okay with spice? You like the pico?
Yeah. Bring the heat.
Okay, I put a little on the side. I'm going to add some more. And then the thing that people really go crazy about in the cafe is our chipotle aioli. So we take our dried chipotle chilies, we reconstitute them. All that means is you re-soak your dried chilies, and then we mix it in a base of the mayonnaise I use was Follow Your Heart mayonnaise, the soy-free, and I'm just gonna drizzle that on top for you. Are people hungry out there?
Yes, I want to tell you there are lots of people watching and commenting. Hello, Tina and Alicia, as well as S. China says, love Chef Nina.
Hi.
We have Tom watching, Dominique. We also have Terry. Hello, Terry. And Tina.
Love.
Yeah, Betty on Cornwall's watching as well. And we have a few others here. Thank you for joining us here on Lunch Break Live, everybody. Feel free to add your comments. Ooh, that is gorgeous. And Paula said,
but you can see all the colors I've given you. You know, Paige, this is such, there's always that question I get asked, where do you get your protein? 1/2 cup of black rice has about 8 grams of protein. Then you've got another 1/2 cup of your black beans that also have about 7 grams of protein. This is bioavailable protein. And all of your plant foods, your edible plant foods have all the amino acids. There's a fallacy that they're incomplete in amino acids. The difference is they have maybe lower concentrations of certain amino acids, but you can see this is a full plate of beans and lentils. 1/2 cup has 18 grams of protein. So you're never devoid of protein, but please let's remember, we need all of our macronutrients, our good fats, our carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, sometimes your simple carbohydrates when you're talking fruit, which is very good for us. And we want to then get the right amount of protein. Our body is never devoid of protein. When we take protein in, it needs to properly broken down into amino acids. And the amino acids are what support and build our cells. And there's this miscommunication, this misinformation about protein, and we need to understand the truth, because after you start eating a plant-based diet, I mean, this is going to satiate you. Having it now at lunch at 1 o'clock or even for dinner, you're going to be so satiated, but you're not going to feel the bloat. You're not going to feel the fatigue sometimes after we've eaten, because after we eat a meal that's very hard for the body to break down, that energy has to go to the digestive system. So of course we're going to feel a little bit tired. It's like, that Thanksgiving meal and you eat all that tryptophan and all those other very heavy carb meals at the time, that's going to make us feel tired. When you eat a plant-based diet, you're going to feel more energized. We do need to chew though. So many people swallow their food versus chewing their food, and we need to chew those carbs, releasing that amylase enzyme in the saliva, so that then the fats and the proteins can properly be broken down in the stomach based on the hydrochloric acid that's working. And when you chew, you don't get that indigestion that so many people get because we're rushing through lunch. Even though many of us are working at home, I don't hear our associates, chewing. They're still working at this pace. We have to slow down and eat. Be quiet. Get to a quiet place when you have lunch and really enjoy this. Through the pandemic, we also made this dish available for our associates to pick up. We've created veg out boxes where they can get all their beautiful vegetables, still local, still organic, and still in season. And they can pick up a box of the Haystack, where I've pretty much set up everything like you've seen, and they just have to take it home and warm it, and that serves 4. So people have really loved it.
Incredible, incredible, incredible. And you are also working, do you have a book coming out as well? Tell us about that.
We have the Blue Zones book. It's the Blue Zones Kitchen, 100 recipes to live to 100, if you so choose. And we just kicked off at our Vitaliz Cafe at our corporate offices here at Adventist Health, our Blue Zones kickoff. And we are going to be rolling this initiative out to 23 of our hospitals so that we can become more plant slant. The Vitaliz Cafe is 100% vegan, organic, sustainable. We're a scratch kitchen and we're a no waste kitchen, but we've got to infiltrate, I like that word, we've got to infiltrate the rest of our hospitals and cafeterias. So not only are our associates, doctors, nurses, and frontline team getting fed food to give them the energy they need, so we will pass that on to our patients. Because why should you come out of a heart surgery and be served a burger or any of the other foods that are dead and devoid? I love to say I feed people food to live for, not to die for. So I'm really excited that our organization is, putting their money where their mouth is and getting people really healed. So we're moving from a healthcare company to a health company. And I'm super excited to share these kind of recipes with our community, as well as our associates, and, feed the people up at the top that make the decisions to make this happen.
Amazing. This has been an incredible show. Everyone's saying, bring her back, please, if she's available. We need to educate doctors on veganism. Absolutely. Food for life. Yes, yes, and more yes. Incredible. This has been such a joy having you here. Look at that incredible recipe. Everyone. You can find Chef Nina at Botanical Chef on Instagram, as well as all the other places you can support her in what she's doing individually, as well as what they are doing with the Adventists. And the name of the cafe again, one more time, tell everybody.
It's Vitaliz, no E, Vitaliz Cafe, and that's vitalizcafe.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Chef Nina. Look at this gorgeous haystack, award-winning. And I don't know about you, y'all, but I mean, come on. This looks so mouth-watering, delicious. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you. We see you. We see you, Tina and Tom and Dominique, as well as Susan and Terry. Oh, my goodness. And China. So many people. Angela came in, Omari and Alicia and Paula. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Tom and Tina and Betty Ann Cornwall as well. And anyone else who jumped into this live on our kitchen here. Lunch Break Live, you're going to find this recipe and hundreds more on janeunchained.com. Head over there and take a look. Again, we appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll see you next time on Lunch Break Live, everybody. 12:30 daily. Yes, absolutely. We'll see you soon.